Psalm 23.
Welcome to the Carr and Seguin Show, hosted by Devon Carr and Paul Seguin, where two Michiganders dive into real estate, outdoors, community building, and everything in between. What is up, sir?
What's going on, man?
Welcome to another show of the Carr and Seguin Show. Episode, engineer.
81.
Really?
Yeah. We're just flying.
162.
I don't know. Last time he gave us a number, it
Wasn't right, wasn't it?
right.
Johnny Be Good was off a little bit, but
It's happened before, yes.
yeah.
But it is 81.
Okay.
First, I'd like to point out, for those of you watching on YouTube and our videos, we are growing the beards.
We are growing the beards.
That's what I said.
I know. Mine was already there.
Yeah, that's true. And I said, screw it.
So you gonna shave a mustache for November?
No, keeping the beard.
Keeping it.
Is my light on in my pocket? Because my leg is warm. Jeez Louise. I thought,
It's one of those.
You ever have that moment where you're like, is my light still on?
It's one of those tricks where they get you to look at your phone again.
Yeah, that. And it's like, I feel like my phone, I just saw an article too where it's like, the large phone manufacturers purposely make your battery charge slower over time. It's like literally been documented. And I'm like, yep, mine just hit that level. Because it's like the last few days, I feel like I'm charging it all the time. And I don't
it's
have
not draining faster, or it's just taking longer to. It's never fully charged.
It's draining faster.
Draining faster.
Yeah. And I check it all the time if because I use my hotspot a lot.
Right.
No, that's not on. And I turn Wi-Fi off if I'm not in a Wi-Fi area because that just searches all the time.
Right.
And it's still just like draining. I've already had to charge it twice today, and it's only 3:00.
Busy man.
Not really today. I mean, to be honest, not too much. But yeah, no, it's just that time of year. It's getting cooler out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just, chili, tomato soup, grilled cheese, and beards.
Oh, there you go.
I know. That's what I had last night for dinner. It was yummy.
Grilled cheese and tomato soup.
And you got to break up the grilled cheese and put it in the soup.
Okay.
That's what I do. I make two. One to eat by itself, one to put in the soup.
I keep trying the grilled cheese and tomato soup thing because I know everybody loves it. I don't know.
You don't like it?
I'm not a huge fan, but
You're not a fan of the combination or one or the other?
I think the combination.
Yeah.
I don't mind tomato soup, but I keep trying it though. One of these days it's gonna click. I have a feeling.
I like it.
Everyone loves it.
It's good. It's just a nice little heart-warming meal.
Right.
And there's no better time to have it than right now. It's not a summer meal, that's for sure.
No.
I mean, I think we may have had it once or twice, but it's like, no, that's
Soup in general is
more colder weather.
Yeah. Not when it's 90.
I can't wait. I want to make my first, I got to whip out some venison chili.
Oh, there you go.
Got to break out your recipe you sent me. Hopefully this time around at the church I can win. Didn't win. I did catch some people by surprise. I was like, you like my chili? Yeah, it was good. It was venison. No way. I'm like, yeah. Didn't even know, did you?
Most don't.
No.
Not if
they hear venison.
Like
no,
Yeah.
I don't want that. What are you talking about? You're missing out.
Well, that's like anybody that says, "Oh, the only best way to eat duck or geese is if it's jerky." It's like, no, there's multiple good ways to cook it. It's just you haven't done it or been around anybody that has done it.
Right. I mean, or at least maybe didn't do it good.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it does have to be on the rarer side for it to actually work. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I heard that comment not too long ago. I was like, to myself, I was like,
That's not true.
It's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
It's erroneous. Erroneous.
Don't say those words.
Yeah.
Don't utter those words in front of me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a good time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best time of the year here.
We went to, our neighbor has a chili cook-off. And
For the whole area, like street?
no, they invite some people, some neighbors over, but a lot of our friends and stuff go. And
Yeah.
you can either enter to do it and taste, or you can just enter the taste.
Just
and-
eat.
Yep. Yep. And then vote. So it was good. It was good. It was funny. There was a sister and brother that did it. One of them owns, or their family owns a restaurant. I guess the sister,
Oh.
this is the story I heard, was the sister brought over her chili to her brother in the morning and said, I think it's missing something. And the brother was like, yeah, you need this. And he fixed it all up, and she ended up beating him. He came in third. She came in second after he fixed it all up for her.
Really? Thanks for the improvement.
Yeah, right.
Beat you. No,
That was
good.
good turnout.
Good chili is good. I like it. I like a nice chunky chili.
I do too.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like some good chunks of tomatoes and lots of beans and
Yep.
good chunks of meat. Yeah, chunkier the better.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
So,
it's chili and bourbon season. That's what I've been.
and bonfires.
Bonfires.
Bonfires, bourbon. What's the third B?
Bucks.
Ah!
There we go.
There you go. Bucks, bourbon, bonfires.
Right. That's how it goes in that order. Shoot your buck.
Have a bonfire.
Bourbon.
Have a bourbon, then start the bonfire.
And then start the-
relax.
Yeah.
And just relish over that nice buck you just shot. Hopefully that happens this year.
Right.
Hopefully. I can't believe it's already, I mean, I know this will drop a week later because we always do that in advance. I don't know if I've said it before, but it's only it's 5 weeks to gun season
I know.
for me.
It's crazy.
I know.
I mean,
couldn't believe it. I'm
opening
like,
of-
It's already that
Bow
time
season.
again.
I was looking at the
I know it's already
weekend.
12 days in.
I was looking at the week. I was like, oh my gosh, it's already going to be October 15th.
I know.
Felt like it last weekend. It just started.
It's insane. It is insane. I was saying that too.
A lot of nice bucks on Michigan Buck Bowl.
It seems like
Mm-hmm.
even online, a lot of the Facebook groups, man, like a lot of guys, a lot of people and women,
Mm-hmm.
they're shooting some big bucks out there,
Yeah.
man. Like pretty quick.
And now, according to Deercast, it says now we're in our October lull already.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Has it already said that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're getting another cold front coming through where it seems to be like the
It could
15
predict-
day is it's 50s, 40s from like here on out
Mm-hmm.
as they're predicting so
Right.
far. So I mean, that's good
Yeah.
for temp wise. Get rid of
Today's
these.
70.
I know. And it hit. I mean, me in my truck yesterday it was 80.
You're right.
It's like whatever. Jeez. I mean, it's nice, but I'm like, I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm good. I mean, I hate saying that because I know what really comes.
So then you're like, I
know.
I'm ready for it to be warm again.
Because, yeah, and then soon we'll be in February just dying for sun and warmth.
Right.
Because it's so cloudy around here.
And
But,
really, it's just the sun.
yeah, we just want sun.
Yeah.
Like, if we can have a sunny winter, I don't care how cold it is.
Like sunny and 20s isn't the end
great.
of the world.
No, it's
Yeah.
actually beautiful.
Yeah.
Especially with a little snow on the trees.
Mm-hmm.
There ain't nothing prettier. That would be more doable. It's just the sun. Because I think
Yes.
that's the lack of sun is what makes everyone crabby.
Right.
You know, we're lacking the vitamin D.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's kind of getting all a little stir crazy, you know, or not stir, whatever, the friggin' cabin fever,
Mm-hmm.
you know. No, I told Jess, not like it was anything particular, but last year we didn't go anywhere during the winter. I'm like, it's not happening. We're going somewhere.
That's what we said too.
I don't care if we drive or fly, like we're
Yeah.
going south. Just freaking load up and go.
Yeah,
We're not dealing with this again.
last 2 years we didn't go anywhere.
That's the same thing.
And at the end of last year, we're like, we have to do something.
Yeah. No more of this.
Yeah.
Need a
I need-
solid week
I need a break.
of 80s and sun, and then it can get us through the remaining part of the winter. So, but
So, hey, Paul, to interrupt real quick.
what?
So, you had a couple weeks with the magic truck, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Passionate red.
Yeah.
How many times you been pulled over so far, or at all?
I am happily able to report 0.
Or you've outran everybody?
Yeah.
Oh, I was doing some running today to get here. This dang cement truck was just driving a little too slow on 59. No tickets so far. I am more jacked about this truck even than my last one. I love it. It is a beautiful GMC Sierra.
There you go.
Yeah, it's nice. I love the chrome and the red. I never actually would thought. I've said this. I just never. I still kind of.
But
like,
it's
I
not like
never
a
would've-
bright red.
No, I wouldn't have gone if it was
Yeah, it's
a
not
bright red. It's more of a darker
Mm-hmm.
cranberry kind of red. So it's kind of sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it was more of a bright red, nah, it's not. I wouldn't go for that.
So your passion's not too high. It's just
I don't know. That gas pedal seems to push pretty easy.
maybe it's a setting on red cars. Just
Yeah,
pushes
it does-
easier.
It does have a sport mode too, which I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. I put it in once, and I mean, it definitely had a little
More
little
giddy up?
extra giddy up.
Mm.
Yeah, a little bit. But then I read into it. I'm like, yeah, I don't need that less gas mileage. It is nice though, because my other truck called for premium. That was just that was
Mhm.
horrible, horrible.
Well,
So
yeah,
I'm so glad
especially
to be
now.
back to the unleaded, dude. Yeah.
Since it went down, then it went back up.
You know what was so funny? I was showing Josh, our client, a house in Southgate,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw a gas station, no joke, in Southgate for $3.69 unleaded. $3.69.
Was it cash?
I drove. No, it was.
Whatever?
It was both ways, debit or cash. And then I drive like a couple more miles at like Telegraph, and it was up to like $4.42, and I'm like, how in the hell? Sorry, but like, how in the hell does one gas station able to charge $3.69, and then a couple miles down the road, this dude's charging almost $1 more? Like, how do they get away with that crap?
They must have extra.
But
They have a supply coming, so they gotta get rid of it.
it's like, what the frick? I don't understand.
I don't.
That's what I don't get. Like, I'm all for, capitalism, but like, how do there's gotta be some kind of like, I don't know what the repercussions would be if you put a control on gas. Like, would it make it worse if you controlled?
Talking about more government.
Yeah. Which is never good. Just never good. But it just doesn't make sense. How
It doesn't.
That's
what Becca's dad was up north. I forgot. We were talking to him yesterday, and I think he said during his drive he saw from like 449 all the way down to 406.
We did the same thing when me and my dad drove up north. We did the same exact thing. It's like, oh my gosh, it just down the highway, it was 404 at that mobile, and then now it's back up to 450 up here.
That's like the speedway at I would say 99% of the time, the speedway by Jay's is always the cheapest gas.
Is it?
The whole way.
Well, you do know, like, you kind of know the areas, like, hey, they're always the lowest,
Mhm.
and it's like, that's what I'd be. I'd always be that guy.
Once in a while, the little gas station on 10, just if you're coming, say, towards Reed City,
Yeah.
be on your left-hand side, kind of right when you get the newer renovated BP on the right, and then it's kind of on the left-hand
Yeah.
side by the dollar right across the street.
Dollar store?
Once in a while, that one will be cheaper than the Speedway, but most of the time,
Speedway's the best.
yeah, that seems to be your second.
It's crazy, though, just how up and down it is.
Mhm.
I mean, just even the simple fact you can, like, literally, like, that guy's 10 cents cheaper than the guy across the street. Like, I mean, it's not I don't know, it's just crazy how much it can fluctuate, though,
Right.
from just one corner to 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
Almost a whole $1 more.
It's like M59 right at it's that newer mobile station on the north side of M59, right where you pass Milford Road.
Yeah.
That one is always super expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Always. And there's people filling up. It's like,
You idiots.
are you on E? Because, man.
So, obviously, like, I'm on the road a ton, and I use the AAA app.
Oh, to find.
Find the best, cheapest gas in the area, but also I like to try to find who's top tier, because that app will tell you who's the top tier gas.
Okay.
I'm following Joe Good. Shout out to you, Joe Good. He's a Ford engineer, my brother-in-law. He says it's not about the unleaded, mid-grade or premium. It's all about the quality grade.
Mm-hmm.
Top tier is your highest standard, cut of gasoline, if that's what you want to call it.
It's like Costco in Brighton versus Costco in Ann Arbor. Costco in Ann Arbor is always cheaper
Really?
by quite a bit.
Haven't you said also too the Costco in Livonia? Not the
Yeah, that was cheap.
the one on Middle Belt.
Yeah, that one's cheaper than Brighton too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's crazy. And I hit up the one in Brighton more than anything.
I know. That's
But
the one
but they're also super cheap. I just saw an article the other day too, and we'll get to Lovely Mortgages here in a second. But some state, I don't think it was Michigan, and I didn't really read into it much, but I saw an article that some state is trying to force Costco to allow more than members buy their gas because it's so cheap compared to others.
Well, that's dumb.
It's the reason why it's cheap is because of memberships, you dummy.
You're right. They're paying it in a
Like,
different way.
Yeah. I mean, go buy a freaking basic membership. It's $60 a year.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go pay $60 to get cheaper gas.
Right.
Like, what the frick? I saw that,
Oh
and I'm just
my
like, dear
gosh.
Lord. Like, what is... Our world is so freaking dumb. Trying to... Yeah. I'm not even going to that tangent. Because just what's come to my mind is the handout people. It's like, no, I worked my butt off to have what I have. Why don't you go do the same?
Right. Well, yeah, I mean,
I
Kroger's.
pay for a membership. Go do the same.
Kroger's, you don't have to, but if you shop at Kroger's, I mean, you get some awesome gas deals.
Yeah, but the gas sucks. I flat out just tell you right now.
Oh,
I've noticed if I put Kroger gas in, my truck at idle will shake. If I go put Costco in, I don't have it.
oh, I don't
Hands
have,
down,
I don't have any
I've
issues.
noticed it. Oh, I do. And I've noticed it on both trucks, even my new one. Because I put Kroger gas in last week because I was like on freaking E. And I was driving through Brighton at 10 o'clock at night, and they're like the only gas station. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to do Kroger because I know it sucks. I don't like it. And then sure enough, like driving around, I'm like, here it is. There it is, the little rumble. It's like just like an idle. You can kind of just, I feel it a little bit.
I don't have any issues.
I put Costco gas in, top tier, don't even feel it. It's a different grade.
Well, that's unfortunate for you.
Maybe it's a GM problem.
Because sometimes you get 30 cents off a gallon.
I can get $1 off.
Yeah, I mean,
Jess 100%. She puts Costco or Kroger gas in all the time. She goes and uses those discounts. Yeah. Actually, I think I even used the $1 off. No, I used 50. There was $1 remaining on our because now they do a difference. You can pick from the month for your points.
oh, okay.
So, but anyways, that's enough for the gas conversation for today.
It's a good one.
Yeah. And I'm sure it ain't going away for a while.
No.
Not until
No.
another Republican gets back in office. Sorry, I said it. You Democrats cost everything more. Sorry. Because you give it all away! Anyways, back to business. Mortgages. So we're going to pick Devon's brain here a little bit. And we're going to talk about, I don't know, I think kind of what comes to my mind. Devon, you can correct me if you don't think that's the right way to spin this. But the types of different mortgage loans that are out there. And I think there's one particular loan, maybe two. I know you don't really specifically deal with VA, right? Or do you?
No, we do VAs.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
You do VAs?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I do VAs.
I haven't had enough Joe for the day.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there, myths, from just my understanding when having conversations with a lot of clients is like over VAs or FHA. Like there's kind of like, ooh, that's a bad loan.
USDA.
USDA,
Mhm.
yeah. But I mean, wherever you want to start, I know like here, maybe I'll just do a 30,000 foot level view and then you can just break it down however you want to take it and run with it, if that's fine.
Sure.
So
We'll give it a try.
So a couple different loan for mortgage loans. There's like a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, a 15-year. You can do 20, right?
25.
20. There's a whole different term lengths.
10.
Obviously, you're just buying down the years of the loan, which is going to equal a higher
Payment.
mortgage payment,
Right.
but you're paying way less in interest. So
Yep.
definitely a smarter thing when you want to save a lot of money when it comes to interest. There's adjustable rate mortgages. You can maybe talk on what that kind of looks like. FHA mortgages, conventional mortgages, VA, USDA. There's a jumbo mortgage, interest-only mortgage, conforming, non-conforming mortgages, government-backed mortgages, which are VA, FHA, USDA loans. And then there's a reverse mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So, I gave you a whole list of mortgages. Obviously, what are the most common are...
I would say conventional and your FHA are going to be your two most common. And it's going to be like conventional's option 1.
Yeah.
FHA would be option 1A. So it's not necessarily because somebody doesn't have money, or it's not necessarily somebody doesn't have good credit, or I'd say credit maybe in the 700s or something like that.
Right.
I mean, it could be somebody's, maybe their debt's a little higher. Maybe they're self-employed and their debt's a little higher than other people's that
Right.
work a regular 9 to 5.
Their debt to income ratio.
Yep. So, I mean, it's really FHA would be 1A versus conventional is 1. And then, I mean, like your terms of your VA loan, I mean, it's it's pretty much one of the best programs out there.
Right.
And one reason I think people would shy away from it in terms of, I mean, if the house needed work, or if there was some questions, then it might not pass your appraisal.
Right.
Which is also an inspection. Essentially, same thing with your
FHA,
FHA and USDA ones.
Yeah.
But like if you are a veteran, I mean, realistically, it is the best program out there. I mean, in terms of potentially what your rate could be, you don't have to pay mortgage insurance, which you have to pay on FHA. Now there's a funding fee potentially with a VA loan. So then that's when you're looking at, I mean, say someone even had a high 700 credit score and they could go conventional or VA, say they still want to put money down, but it wasn't 20% or whatever. I mean, then you should start to look at if you had to pay the VA funding fee, how much would it cost you for it versus how much you would actually pay in mortgage insurance.
Right.
And kind of look at your rate, what your rate would be plus that. And then, I mean, if it turned out to be where it wasn't much of a difference, or if conventional was better,
Right.
or if, say, the house you were looking at, say, well, we'll only take conventional offers, then obviously you'd go that way. But if, I mean, the VA is going to be cheaper, why wouldn't you do that?
And most, I mean, VA loans are, I mean, aren't they like sometimes 0% down?
Yeah, you don't have to put it. You
Yeah.
still have to cover your closing costs,
Right.
but you don't have to put any money down. You don't have to put, or you don't have mortgage insurance,
Right.
like I said. So that's a big thing.
Right.
I mean, that could be $100 and something you save each month just doing the VA loan compared to an FHA loan.
Right.
I mean, USDA ones, you don't have to put any money down, really. You don't want to. USDA are only rural, though.
Right.
So, I mean, it's one of those things where you talk with your realtor, say, hey, this is, I mean, if someone can qualify for FHA, USDA, I mean, if the property is rural, USDA is a better
Program.
program for them,
Right.
as long as the listing agent, or I guess the sellers, would accept that.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, obviously, as long as the property is eligible
Right. Right.
for it.
Which there's the thing that keeps coming to mind, even like talking about FHA, probably more so VA and USDA. I don't know. I think there's this, like, us realtors need to do a better job of just understanding what these loans really are. I think so many people or agents, just they hear VA and go, oh, no, nope. And I get to your point, like if the house does have some very clear, like this is going to be an issue.
Right.
But again, I think it's just a conversation that has to be had to where like there is, I think, this stigmatism in our business amongst realtors and probably potentially mortgage people that like they're bad loans. They're too difficult to deal with. They're a hassle. They take too long, right? Which, again, I understand there is an extra step in FHA and VA and USDA because they have to do their own inspection, a part of the appraisal.
Right.
Right. And that's the big thing that we're pointing at when it comes to if there are potentially some issues with the house that are very visible.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like condition wise. But I think like sometimes we're so quick to write those loans off in an offer and just like, no, we're going to go with conventional. Right. Like, sure, they're easy per se. But I think it's just like, I think we as realtors can do a better job of like just understanding these loans and looking further into the buyer. And I think that plays a part into the buyer anyway, the buyer agent presenting the offer to begin with. Right.
Yeah. Cause like you said, it's not the fact that they don't have money or, I mean, they don't, I mean, maybe they had a bad year.
Right.
3 years ago. And their credit took a little hit.
Right.
I mean, that stuff stays on your credit for 7 years, so you do feel the impact of it for a while.
But these programs are open.
Right.
They're open to that stuff.
So it doesn't mean that the person isn't
good,
very well qualified. I mean, overqualified for that house.
Right.
I mean, it's just a better program. I mean, even if somebody had, say, a high 6, maybe low 7 credit score, I mean, just because someone can qualify for a conventional loan doesn't necessarily mean that it's
the best one
for them. Because, I mean, they could potentially be paying more on their mortgage insurance if they went conventional versus if they went FHA. I mean, you could always refinance to go conventional to get rid of your mortgage insurance quicker. I mean, there's a bunch of different things, but I've had that conversation a few times with people that say, well, I want to go conventional. Why? I mean, it's going to cost you X amount extra each month. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
But that
your rate's going to be higher
than
what if we went FHA and your mortgage insurance. Why would we?
I just had a client who did that. Literally spent 2 weeks shopping other mortgages just to try to get qualified for conventional. When every single time it was FHA. And I'm like, dude, why are you wasting so much time? Because and he couldn't really explain it. We closed on the house. It's all good. We figured it out. But it was like, no, he literally did not want to have an FHA loan. And I'm just like, whoa, why? Where are you getting this from? Like, it's not a bad loan.
Right.
But he kind of literally was just like this label that like, oh, I couldn't get qualified for conventional. Who freaking cares?
Right.
And it's not, there's nothing wrong with it.
No.
And I think that's just kind of why I brought up like, hey, let's just talk about this. Because it just is like, I don't know if it's like the articles or messages or maybe us realtors not explaining or collectively maybe, right? The whole industry collectively just making the conventional this glorified loan. Right. And obviously, like we all do as humans, no matter what, we label things for what we have or what we don't have.
Right.
You know, and it's like, ooh, well, yeah, I got FHA. Oh. No.
Yeah.
No.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to say. Good.
Yeah, you're
qualified.
You're qualified.
You
bought a house.
Yeah.
Like, let's just focus on that.
Right.
And a big topic even right now with like rates being high, like, who freaking cares? Refinance a year or two down the road and get a conventional if it's so important to you.
Right.
But at least you got the house today, and it's a great loan.
Right.
It's probably even better. But everyone thinks,
backed by the government.
Yeah, well, that's another story. But
It's backed by you.
who pays the government?
Yeah.
We all do. Yeah, people forget that whole notion too.
No, but I get that. I got that the other day where somebody, I got a phone call and they're like, yeah, I want first time home buyer. Why? Well, because I did it like 4 years ago and it helped me. It was like different.
Yeah.
I mean, just because you did it, or I mean, someone told you about it, because I've had it too, where someone said, I want to do this. It's like, why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
I mean, and then you obviously explain it to them, and they go, oh yeah, this is much better.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a very visual learner, right? And I
Right.
think that sometimes there's probably a lot of people out there too that like, hey, yeah, your buddy down the road, or you got that loan, and you're just like, it sounded amazing, and he was super happy. It's like, yeah, but your story's completely different, dude.
Yeah.
Like, just because they got it or they did it, who cares?
Right.
Talk about what's the best option for your situation,
Yeah.
for your credit, for your income, for your goals,
There's,
for what you're looking to budget.
there's not one loan that is the exact same.
No,
I don't care how generic everything is.
Nope.
Somebody's got something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone always does. I mean, think about it. You don't tell your family everything. Why would you tell your buddy that you just bought a house?
Everything, yeah.
You could say, yeah, I got
this juicy rate.
conventional loan, but I had to do all of this. I mean, I had to pay a bunch of extra or whatever it may be. I mean, they don't tell you everything.
Well, that was
but you should tell your loan officer everything.
Yeah.
Something will come out.
100%, guys. I mean, I don't know how many times we have this with our clients, whether they listen or not, but it's just like, there's nothing they're not going to find out.
Right.
You guys, the underwriters, right? Like, there's a reason why Devon and all mortgage lenders say, hey, let's verify this application now. I need bank statements. I need pay stubs. It's like, oh, but what's this other account? It's nothing. No.
Right.
What's this other account? Like, guys, we're about to hand you $200,000. I mean, if you're going to hand someone you don't know, you don't know.
Right.
I don't know you. I don't know you from Adam, dude. But I'm going to hand you $200,000 to go buy a house. Guess what? I want to know everything about you.
Right.
And the biggest important thing is money. Where's money coming? Where's it going?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I always love it, too, when people are like, well, I got $100K cash.
Yeah. It's in a
Wonderful.
shoebox.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
I've been collecting it.
Yeah, I don't need to tell you that. It's none of your business. Well, guess what? When I give you $300,000, it is my business. But no, yeah, to that point where I was getting at, like, there's no reason to hide anything, because
we're there to help you.
Correct, and I think that's the thing. Like, oh, you're just out to flag crap, or you're gonna send stuff to the IRS, and it's like, well, one, the only person that's really gonna get in trouble if we don't do this correctly is us.
Right.
Because we're the one putting this on paper.
Right.
And if we get audited, we're screwed.
We're in trouble.
Because we're the one now in their eyes that fudge the numbers.
Right.
Right. So we're here to help you.
They're not going to call you and you're going to say, oh, yeah, well, they told me that it was for this. And they go, oh, okay, well, then that's fine.
Yeah.
They don't really do that.
No.
I mean,
always just be truthful. Because at the end of the day, it's not like it's going to just squash it.
Right.
We're like, okay, we now know it. Now let's deal with it.
Right.
Let's look at our options. We can do this. We can do that.
We're going to need this document.
Yeah.
And then it's all there. And you don't find it out later. And then you go, well, you only told me you needed this, this, and this. And it's like, well, we didn't know about this and that.
Correct.
So now we got to pivot.
And it ends up making it actually more work.
Right. It does.
Right? And most of the time, I would almost say probably majority of the time, these things are found out down the road of a closing process,
right?
Which never makes anything easy, right? Because now you're having to spend time, aside from closing the loan, figuring out this issue, which takes days. And then typically the client sometimes is like in this frantic mode that makes it even more difficult to get those documents. Right. And then we've now a week into it and we should be having a clear to close and we're still working through this.
Right.
So yeah, just be truthful. There's no reason not to be.
You can overtell. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to use it against you.
No.
I mean, or just making sure that nothing comes up.
Correct.
I
Because
mean,
the worst
that's
thing
our
that
job.
can happen is when something comes up and you're a week away from closing, and it's like, I don't ever like getting that phone call from you. Like,
Well, no.
we got a problem.
Yeah,
I'm like,
there is an issue.
no.
Yeah, no.
What did they not tell you this
Yeah.
time?
But I mean, you got to be careful. I mean, I like to think I do a good job, obviously, and there's plenty other people that do great jobs.
Yep.
But I talked to somebody the other day, and they were like, "Yeah, I just got approved FHA loan for $92,000." I said, "Okay," and then I started asking them questions. I go, "Well, did you send them anything?" No, they just said I needed driver's license and this. I was like, okay. Start talking about their employment, and then
I
they
already
said
know where this is going.
they're self-employed. They haven't filed taxes.
What?
2021. I was like, well, did they ask you any of this? And she goes, no, not really. She just asked me what I kind of made each year. I said, oh, okay. Well, self-employed, you have to have 2 years tax returns to even figure out your income. So, I mean, we need to get that taken care of. But I mean, that it could be a huge issue.
100% it'd be a
I
big
mean-
issue. Because what if you just started self-employed and you're showing a negative loss?
Right.
I mean, hello.
So, I mean, you got to be careful who you're going with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, realistically.
Yeah.
I mean, because there are a lot of bad. They'll just do whatever. I mean, we're more of a, I don't want to say smaller group, but like I have all my underwriters' cell phone numbers.
Right.
essentially. I mean, I can call them whenever they're there to help. Some of the bigger companies, they might have a little bit more of an issue with some of their pre-approvals because they're just
Banging
pumping them out.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Yeah. I mean, the number one thing is, I mean, my cousin, for example, Jared, if you listen to this, you know I'm talking about you. Like, just send the docs in. And it's not, and I'm using it, for example, I know he's a good guy, so I can beat up on the show. But it's just like he's called me like 2 or 3 times saying, hey, what is it going to be? And I said, dude, did you send your paperwork in to Devon? No. Do it. Why? Because you want a concrete number, send the docs in. Make sure that what you're working with is exactly what your story is.
right.
And you're financially checked. It's just like a pre-approval when we receive on an offer as income, assets, and credit been verified.
Mm-hmm.
And the big two are income and assets. Because when
Yeah.
you do an application, you're putting your social in anyways, and the credit's being checked.
Right.
But if your income on your app doesn't match what you actually can prove, well, there's issue number one. And if your income or your assets, did I say income first? I think I did.
Yeah.
If your assets are not what you put on your, like, hey, I got $100,000 in the bank and you only have like 20, and the income you say you make 150 and you only make 80.
Right.
That's a big difference.
Those are the big, I mean, those
Yeah.
really are
yeah.
big ones. Because, I mean, even if you work 40 hours a week, but every paycheck you have doesn't show 40 hours a week,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get credited for the 40 hours a week.
It gets averaged out
Yeah. I
typically,
mean,
right?
so you lose some. And,
Right.
I mean,
Then you got to adjust
it
that number.
happens more
And then
times
your
than not.
your debt to income ratio goes higher because then your income
Right.
goes down, and that change. It's like just sending the docs. It doesn't really take that much. I mean, guys, I'm gonna be honest, and some of y'all might hate me for saying this, but it's 2022. If you don't have a stinking computer at home, wake up, okay? Like, it should not be difficult for anybody in this world to just send a couple documents. I'm sorry, I said
You
it.
shouldn't.
It shouldn't. I don't care if you're 70 or 18. God help you if you don't know how
But
to do
shoot,
this and you're 18.
I'll go meet you.
I've done it many times.
I've done that plenty of times.
Yeah.
Went and meet them. And,
Or they've
Get 'em
come to
that
your
way,
office, or
yeah.
they've literally freaking come to my own personal home.
right. Yeah.
And we took care of a client
Right.
just to get it done. Because, I mean, it just is simple. And just in that, what I was using for an example, send the docs in so that your lender or Devon himself can say, great, everything's been verified. Here's what you're looking at. Here's some concrete estimate numbers so that you can go forth and just be informed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm the same way. I sometimes get analysis paralysis when I don't really know the true facts.
Mm-hmm.
So I just go find it.
Right.
Tell me, where am I sitting? What am I looking at? Okay, good. Now I know I need to stay right here because
Yeah.
that's my comfort zone. Simple, guys. It really is. It's simple when you work with good guys like us.
Yes.
So stop working with other people. Just come to us.
Right.
But
I would say unless you really know your lender, like the person you're dealing with, if they don't really ask you to send in documents or anything for your pre-approval, I mean, you might.
there's flag number one.
Yeah.
Big flag number one. I mean, yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, that's 90% of your work.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, is your initial documents.
Well, I get it all the time, dude. Like, gosh, man, I got to get all these documents over. I'm like, just get it done and you're done.
Right.
Like,
And it's not even that many.
And
I mean, it's literally 5 things.
Back to my technology rant. Like, I am so flabbergasted when people are like, well, I don't know how to get my bank statement. It's called go to your online banking. You don't have a freaking online banking? Like, yo, it's 2022. I'm sorry. I'm just being real here. Okay? Some people might not like my realness. But sign up for your online banking and just go, you click on the PDF logo of September of 2022, and then it pops up on your screen and you hit save. And then you pull up your Gmail or Yahoo account. I'm being really
I can.
dickish here. But I'm just being real.
We went from different loan types to how to get your banking information.
I don't know, man. It's just, yeah. Hey, it's, yeah, whatever. Just, yeah. But, real quick, what is a reverse mortgage?
So essentially, you're getting paid
Reverse.
So the mortgage company, the servicer is paying you for what your home is worth.
Yeah. So
And
from day one, I get paid on my mortgage.
Yes, and then
At the end,
you have to pay it.
when I die, you sell the house and you get the money, the lender.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's an old person thing.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be a certain age to do it. I don't do any of them.
No?
But my dad, when he was in the business, he had somebody that they moved up in Traverse City, and
I know it's kind of
that was his thing.
selling a bunch of reverse mortgages.
He got a niche for it, and
Because it's an old person thing, right? Baby boomers kind of the whole thing.
I mean, it's not a terrible. I mean, realistically, I guess even if you have family,
Mm-hmm.
but I would think of it as more of if you didn't have family. I mean, why not?
Yeah, right.
Why not get paid?
Yeah. And then when you die, it's just they take
But if you do have family, then you're kind of
screwing them.
leaving it to
Like, hey, your inheritance is now owned by the lender. Sorry.
So what would happen in that case if you took a reverse mortgage? And I'm not so sure, do you still take it out for 10, 20, 30 years, however long? So every month you're going to get paid?
Yeah, every month you get paid.
For how long?
I don't know. I don't do them.
I'll say, because
Yeah.
if you were to all of a sudden
I mean, you
run
have,
out of the third, took it for
forgot
20
how
years,
old you
right?
have to be.
I think it's older.
Yeah.
Like I think it's 60 or is it 65 the minimum age? Something like that. So they're kind of playing with the average life expectancy
Yeah.
a little bit, right? Because I think it's still a 30-year, so it kind of almost guarantees them that, like, dude, you're not going to probably live
Okay.
to the end of this.
62 and older.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you were to outlive the 30-year, then all of a sudden they come and take your house and you're out in the street?
No, because I think there's a clause in there where there's like an end clause that if you do live out the term, I think you just have to, I think you got to either re-up a new one or like, I think refinance. I'm sure it's probably what you have to do. But who knows? I mean, maybe they put clauses in, they like, you have to have some health issues so we know you're going to die. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I know it's not a very common, but it was in the list. And I know people I get questions from it like, reverse mortgage, is that a good? I'm like, not if you're old. You got to be old.
Yeah, I didn't know if they were going to have like a purge night on you.
Yeah.
On your 30th mortgage.
It's getting close.
It's getting close. We got to get rid of him.
Yep.
Take the top like 100,000 reverse mortgages we got. All right, now they're getting dang close. Let's start sending out Hitman.
Right, yeah.
So we can get our money out. But adjustable rate. What is that? Adjustable obviously is not fixed. Fixed rate.
Right. Normally, your adjustable rates, they're fixed for a short period of time, and then they adjust either 6 months or a year.
So is that
after
like what a 5-in-1 is?
Yeah, so you got like 3, 5, 7.
Yeah.
So they're fixed for
That
3
long.
years, 5 years, 7.
And does
and
it like
then
adjust to the market?
to the market every year after, or whatever one you choose to do. But I mean,
So could that be a viable option for someone where, like, because is it typically a lower rate at start, or no?
yeah, I mean, like for us, I mean, I don't do
Too many of them.
too many of them right now.
Yeah,
Just in terms of what rates are, it's
Right.
not.
really viable.
Yeah, I mean, it just
But
so
in theory,
the market,
of those loans,
that's what it's. I mean, it's supposed to allow you to have a lower rate at the beginning.
but then you're kind of like
It
you're
might.
getting close to that 5-year number. You're like, oh shoot, it's gonna jump up to.
It could potentially. It doesn't.
But you could always
but-
just refinance, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could.
So it could just be a short-term loan that you know that if you're living in it long-term, or maybe even short-term, right? A short-term play, like, hey, I'm not going to be in here for more than 2 years.
Right.
Might as well take the 5-in-1 with a lower interest rate and just know that I'm going to sell it before
Yeah,
the
if it
5-year
is,
hits,
Yeah,
right?
it's an option.
Yeah. No, it's just cool. I think stuff to talk about. Maybe we could revisit even more in depth on some of those other non-normal
Mhm.
loans, right? I mean, your most common loan you're going to hear is conventional, FHA,
Yep.
and VA.
Right.
I mean, you don't really even hear that much USDA because, again, it has to be rural,
Yeah, it's got to qualify with
Yeah.
property.
but they're there. But by far, it's VA, FHA, conventional,
Yeah.
or cash if you got a bunch of money.
Yeah.
But we don't like that for Devin
Right.
because he doesn't make any money
Yeah.
off that.
Those aren't good.
Cash, keep
Right.
that money in your
Yeah.
account, right?
Keep getting that 6%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. That yeah, Jess is so quick to pay off the mortgage, and I'm not. I like my cash in our bank account growing,
Right.
not just yeah, whatever. We won't get into that. Yeah, so that's that. Hopefully, you guys took some nuggets on some of the differences alone. FHA is not bad.
Not bad at all.
No, that myth. If you have any thought in your brain, and clearly a lot of you probably do, I'm sorry, but you all may be listening. It's like, oh, I always thought FHA was that you sucked. No, not even a lick. You suck with an FHA.
You can even get more seller concessions with putting less down.
And do you know a lot of investors who buy homes all the freaking time? They love FHA, but they don't tell you that because you don't talk to investors. But if investors who are making money off of real estate use them all the time, why are you not? Be a little more open. I honestly say that because I know that's the thought process to the general public when it comes to mortgage. Oh, I got to get conventional. It's like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It's not. No. And it just comes back to what you don't know. You just don't know.
Right.
Right. So we're here to tell you. Just have the conversation. We've repeated this many times, and we always will. Just give us a call. But when it comes, obviously, more of the finances, Devin's the guy, not me. I always deflect it off to Devin. I can give you the synopsis, this is what you're looking at. But again, he's the man in control of your finances. He can tell you exactly what your situation is, not me. I don't know your stuff. He does.
We're here to give you options.
Yeah.
I'm not here to tell you what to do. Just give you options.
Yeah. No, and Devin does. And you do. You do it well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, guys, hopefully you took something from that. If maybe any questions arose from that, from this show, give us a call or give Devin a call. And we'd be more than happy to answer any questions or concerns or, maybe just have a conversation.
Yeah.
We're here. So, well, that does it for episode 81. My name is Paul Seguin.
Paul. Ron Burgundy.
Ron Burgundy. And I'm with EXP Realty.
I'm Devin Carr with Gold Star Mortgage.
This is a Card Sequence Show. See.
The primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series do not constitute legal or professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind. Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group, NMLS 3446, Equal Housing Lender.